Hello students. So yesterday I have already started with the sixth chapter. Now in the sixth chapter we have seen about the list. What is list? How to create the list. Right? Different types of list we have seen. We have used a list function and the evaluate function to input the list content. We have seen that with the list function whatever we input will convert into the list format, and with the evaluate function when you want to input the list values you have to give in the square brackets separated by comma in between. So that is what two function we have seen, list and evaluate function yesterday. So now again in the continuation in your book the evaluate function is given right in details over here. So we'll continue from here today. Hope you have done the practicals and no problem in the yesterday's video you have faced. Now the evaluate function. The evaluate function of Python can be used to evaluate and return the result of an expression given as string. So it will first evaluate the expression and then return the result in the string. So see, if I write 5 plus 8 in string, in the evaluate function's argument value, whatever these are the function names, evaluate is a function name, in the bracket whatever we gives are called arguments. So if we pass a string argument in it, right, but the string is given in the expression form, so it will first evaluate this expression, then convert this into the string and print it as an answer. So this will give you the result as 13, right. So similarly if we write in double quotes also 3 into 10, and if we print y we will get the answer as 30. Since evaluate can interpret an expression given as string, you can use it with input 2, right. So it will convert it into the string values and display it. So see here we are inputting the one value, we can convert it into the uh, evaluate function is used, so it is converted into the proper data type. So see, print variable 1 and type of variable 1 is given. So if you enter the value as 15 plus 3, then it will return 18 as the answer, and this type function is giving that it is an integer type. So see, the evaluation has not only interpreted the string 15 plus 3 as 18, but also stored the result as an integer value. Thus with evaluate, if you enter an integer or float value, it will interpret the value as the intended types. So it will automatically convert it into the either integer or either float, whatever value you give with the input statement. No need to use int or float function here, because evaluate will automatically convert it in and interpret it into the intended type. Whether it is an integer value, it will convert it into integer. Whether it is a float value, it will convert it into the float type, right. So see here, if we enter the value 75, this is an integer value, so it will automatically convert it into the integer. If we are inputting the float values, so it will convert it into the float type. See, this type function is used here to check whether the data type it is converting or not. So whenever the evaluate function is used with the input function, then it converts your value into the intended type, right. So you can also use the evaluate to enter list or tuples also, and we have seen for the list also. So when we write evaluate input enter value, and in the square brackets this way we enter the value, it shows that it is a list type. And even for the tuple values, if you give the values in the round bracket, it converts it into tuple, right. So you can use the evaluate function also in the place of list, integer or a float function. But here there is one given here uh, line, that is use of evaluate function may lead to unforeseen problems, and thus use of evaluate is always discouraged. So mostly you should not use it. It is not an, sometimes it gives an unforeseen problems, right. So this is what about the evaluate function. Now Yesterday we have seen how to create the list also. Now we have to learn how to access list. Now see, in the string also we have seen that string is storing its individual elements, right, in a particular memory location, and with the forward indexing method and the backward indexing method we used to read an individual element from it, right. Now see here, lists are mutable sequences having a progression of elements. There must be a way to access its individual element, and certainly there is. But before we start accessing individual elements, let us discuss the similarity of list with strings that will make it very clear to you how individual elements are accessed in list. The way you access string elements follow. For that you have to see here the example. See, this is your list. A, E, I, O, U. These are all the character values, right? They have given it as a list content. So, same way as your string, right? If it is indexed, is given, forward indexing is labeled, then the first character is at 0, second character is at 1 index value, third is at second, right. So this is how forward indexing. And if you count for the backward indexing, if you go for the backward indexing, that your, then it starts from here, last index element, that is -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5. So if I want to access I, then I have to write either L list 1 2, or I have to write list 1 -3, right. So this is how we can access a single element from the list. Now see, in this case all the elements of the list are of same type, right. So if the elements are of the same type, is a sequence of same type of values, then this is very easy way to read it, right. But then the other way, if the sequence are not of the same type, you know that it can be of multiple types, of list can be of multiple types also, like this here. See, list equals to 47, which is integer, then true is a boolean value, good is a string, and this is what the float value. In this case, right, so mostly lists are stored in memory exactly like string, except that because some of their objects are larger than others, they store a reference at each index instead of single character as in string. And each of the individual item of the list are stored somewhere else in memory. So in this case, in this LST, what will happen? All the indexes are stored at one memory address, that is 7054, and these are empty, right. What here will come as are the memory addresses. Memory addresses, like suppose as this, the length of all these elements are not same. Now this 47 is stored in the memory address, that is 100. This is stored at 105. True is stored at 105, right, and good is stored at 106. So in that case, when this 47 element is to be the address is written here in LST, where at 0 index value they will write 101, here they will write 105. So here the memory address of the individual items are stored, which are stored somewhere else in the memory, and that memory location, reference memory location of that are stored here, right. So this is how the list is stored in the memory, how it is internally organized, right. And in that case also, to access we have to use list and the number, forward indexing or a backward indexing we can use. Thus you can access the list element just like you access a string elements, but the memory arrangement of this list is different than the string type of value. That is what explanation is given here, right. List I will give you the element at the ith index of the list, list A then colon B will give you elements between indexes A to B minus 1 and so on, right? Put in another words, list are similar to string in following ways. Right, now this example, what is this A colon B? That means when you want to extract the multiple values, children. Now see, here I am creating one list. List L equals to, if I say the first value is string ABC, right, then second value is number, the third value is the multiple type of values I am using here, and the boolean value. Okay, so this is my list. Now if I want to extract the first value, yesterday also I have shown you this, L0 I have to write in the case of forward indexing, right? In the case of backward indexing, if we see start from the left side, then true is 3, right? And in this case minus 1, true is minus 1. So if I write minus 1, it is extract true. Even if I write L3, then also it is extracting true. So in the forward indexing, the true is at third index value, and the backward indexing, the true is at minus 1 position, right? So this is how. Now if I want to extract more than one characters together, that is if I want to extract 2 and 67.8, two values together, so in that case I have to write this way, L in bracket 1 colon 3. So it is extracting one value from the one index value, two index value, and not extracting 3, because it always extract 1 less than the last index value given, B minus 1. This is what here your B minus 1 shows, this B minus 1. Understood? Now see how the lists are similar to strings. So the length of the string returns the length function we have seen with it, returns the total characters in the string. Same way, length function of the list returns the number of items, that is the elements in the list, right? Then we have seen indexing and slicing in the string. Same way for the slicing purpose, as I shown you, right? Li returns the item at particular index, and Li colon j returns a new list containing the object set indexes between I and j excluding index j, right? As I shown you here, it is excluding this j value. It is not taking 3 index value, it is taking 1 and 2 only, starting from 1 the first number and stop at 2, right? So this is how the slicing is done. Then membership operators, you know that in and not in operator we have used with string. So what is it used for? To check whether the character is existing in the string or not. It will give the answer as a boolean value, right? So same way membership operators works in the list also. And what does it check? That int tells if an element is present in the list or not, and not in operator does the opposite to it, right? Then we have seen the concatenation and replication operators, that is plus and multiply with this asterisk sign for multiplication in the string. Same way here, the plus operator adds one list to the end of another, and the star asterisk sign operator repeats a list, right? Now see, if I'll show this whole thing practically using slicing, I have already shown you. If we use a length function, see len, you know that length function is used to measure. If I write length of L, see what does it return? 4, because how many elements are there? 4 elements are there in the list, right? Then, and this is called indexing. When we say L0, and it returns the value of that index, so it is called indexing. And this is called slicing, L 1 colon 3, right? So that is called slicing. Now the next is membership operator. So we will use a membership operator like with 2 in, right, L, right? If 2 exists in list L or not, it will return the boolean value true. And if I write 5 in L, so 5 is not there in the list, so it returns false. And if I type opposite to it, 5 not in L, it will return true because 5 does not exist in L. So this is how the membership operator. Now see, if I type use a concatenation operator, that is your plus sign, then plus L plus L. What is the answer we are getting? The second list is added at the end of the first list. Now see, if I make another list, L1 equals to in square bracket 1 comma 4 comma in quotes A. Sorry, I complete the first list L1. Then if I make the another list, that is L2. L2 equals to, if I say G comma 8 comma 9, right, this is my L2. Now if I say L1 plus L2, then you see, then can you see here that the first list 1, 4 and A is existing first, and then at the end of that L2 list is added, that is G, 8 and 9. Now if I do opposite operation, if I write L2 plus L1, then can you see the answer here? It is coming the L2 content first and then the L1 contents. Clear? So this is how the concatenation operator works. And if I say L1 into 2, then you see what is the answer coming? The sorry students, I can't move this window at all. And you see this list, L1 into 2 will repeat our L1 2 times. So this is how your concatenation and the replication operator works on the list, right? What is the note given? Go through it once. Collection or sequence type data type such as list are stored as a container containing references of each individual item, right? Like for example, L equal to 1 to 3 is L at reference of 1, reference of 2 and reference of 3. This is what they are trying to explain. So these list items are stored as the other reference memory location here, right? So this is given in the note. Now how to access individual element, that I have already explained you children. How to access the individual element. All the setting goes away. As mentioned, the individual element are a list of a list are accessed through their indexes. Like already I have shown you, vowel 0 karoge to A aega, right? Then this is for backward indexing, right? Then but see here there are only how many elements? 5 elements. So the last index value is 4. But if you write value 5, then you will get an index error, right? You will get an index error, right? So here I'll stop today, then transversing list tomorrow we'll see, otherwise the video is too long. Please practice all this thing and study hard. Bye. Thank you.